Hey, lovely ladies, how are you? Welcome to our Tuesday morning training, Business Growth Insights. It is good to be back after kind of like a week's break from the Growth Insights training, but really not, because if you missed it last week, we had a really fun, we had a 5-day challenge, which was really fun. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it again. I had an absolute friggin' ball doing this challenge. Just bear with me, ladies, while I whoops, make sure I can see your comments. There we go. Let's get it. Okay, good. I can see all your comments. If you're joining us, say hey, hi, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, pop hashtag replay. It's going to be really good to be able to come back and interact with you. Now, ladies, I have a really good, after a week's break, as I said, we've got a really good topic to be talking about today. And the topic is, wait for it is why support and collaboration are key. Now, the reason I chose this topic is because I used to personally, and I know that a lot of people can tend to have, when you start a business, have the feeling of business is like a dog-eat-dog world, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. Hi, Elaine. How are you, beautiful lady? And me personally, coming from the corporate world, which was very much a dog-eat-dog world, I came into the business, the small business world, thinking that that was going to be exactly the same, where actually it doesn't have to be that way. We think it does. Some of us, or a lot of us, think it does, because, and this is why, because we get, you know, and I know for me, we get caught up in the sea of social media, and we see so many people out there doing the same thing or something really, really similar to what we do. And it's like, oh, they're already doing it. Okay, so, you know, there's too much competition out there, is what people will say. However, how about this? And here's a challenge to you straight up. How about if, instead of seeing other businesses as competition, and especially businesses that, you know, are similar to the ones that we run, what if we saw them as rather as competition? We embraced the opportunities that we're given to collaborate and or support each other instead. How cool would that be? And let me tell you, it is cool, because I'm really starting to embrace this myself, which is why I really wanted to come and share it with you ladies as well. So, and another thing is too, is we're hearing a lot lately about, you know, everyone supporting, you know, support local businesses, buy Australian, particularly if you live in Australia, of course, you want to buy Australian. And, you know, and this is what we want to do. We want to continue to support each other in Australia or whichever country you're from. Supporting, you know, supporting small businesses is such an important thing to do for each other. And, you know, all of us are running our own small businesses, so we all get it, that support is important. So it's a whole new ball game if we were to all look at supporting small businesses, buying Australian, and or supporting each other, collaborating with each other as well. So let's have a look about the word collaboration. And just bear with me, I had the heater on under my desk and it's a little bit hot, so I've just turned it off. All right, so let's have a look about the word collaboration. Okay, so the word collaboration is, in essence, support. So if you look at that, that quote there, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. This is what this group is. It's a tribe of, you know, confident, successful women supporting each other and having each other's back. So that collaboration within this group, there's so many opportunities to do so, is essentially support. So let's have a look at, you know, we're supporting each other. Oh, and this is something else I wanted to say, is that, you know, by supporting each other, what you're doing is you're actually also supporting your own business. And this is going to become evident as I speak through what I'm going to talk about this morning. So first of all, collaboration and support it's mutual support. The key word here is mutual. So, and this is, you know, and this is me speaking to myself as much as it is to everybody else. You know, don't just be in it for yourself. When I entered into business, I was in it for myself. That is a fact. I was, right. And but the thing is, but most business owners that I know and that I come across now, I'm proud to say, you know, they're not just in it for themselves. They're in it to support each other. And you know, this is what I keep going back to is our why. Hello, beautiful Julie. How are you, lovely lady? I keep going back to my why, right? Why am I in business? I want to help and support other ladies just like you in business. So mutual support is so, so important, that we're not just in it for ourselves, okay? And I have to say, in all honesty, there are times when I have had to step back and ask myself, am I giving as much as I'm taking? And if the answer has been no, that's when I have gone, okay, it's time for me to step up my supporting of others, right? I've had plenty of support from other people, but now it's my turn to reciprocate and support them. So the word mutual support is key here, right? Successful women who have each other's back. Help build each other's networks, right? So a lot of people, when I say this, they go, well, shouldn't we be building our own networks? Yeah, of course we should. You know, that's how we get people's eyes in front of us. However, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, when we help build each other's networks, right, it's key. Like, networking is key in business. So instead of just concentrating on building our own networks, yes, we can absolutely help build each other's networks too. And I believe it's important that we do. Hi, beautiful Claire. Thank you for joining, lovely lady. And so networking, like building each other's networks, networking in business is important. It's a key thing to do. So let's all do it together and let's support each other. Collaboration, we can also learn from each other. Oh my God, this is huge. If you're open to learning in collaborations, we can absolutely learn from one another. 100%. Like the amount of collaborations I've done, all in different ways, I always learn something, whether it's something about myself, whether it's something to improve in my business, whether it's watching, you know, someone else and how they do something and what they do. We can absolutely learn from each other when we collaborate. Be inspirational. Now, of course, everyone needs and everybody wants inspiration, right? Especially since the pandemic's hit. I mean, we all wanted and needed it before, but, you know, now is a time where everyone needs inspiration. And so when you collaborate, you can be an inspiration to other people, to whoever you're collaborating with, and we can also be inspired. So I've said this heaps and heaps of times, and I'll continue to say, because sometimes if we allow it to be, running a business by ourselves can be lonely, right? And if we let it, it can be lonely. But my motto is, this is my personal motto, and I try to live by this as much as I can. I'm not perfect, but I try to, you know, is be as inspiration as possible to everybody who comes across my path. And I don't always get it right, but, you know, but I give it a red hot go. And this is what I would suggest to you, you know, be inspirational to everybody who comes across your path. Now, I want to address something here. When we collaborate with people, sometimes inspiration, it can be tricky. It can be sneaky if we let it, if we don't choose to be inspired, this feeling of what could be inspiration could instead be imposter syndrome or comparisonitis, right? So instead of being, so let me rephrase that. Instead of allowing yourself to be inspired by someone, you can go, I wish I was doing as well as she was. I wish I could interview as well as she does. My God, I don't know how she's doing what she's doing, because, you know, I can't do that. However, you know, and this is where this imposter syndrome comes in. Instead of stepping back and choosing to be inspired by that person. Let me give you a really good example. So I recently did a speaking gig for a beautiful lady called Yolanda Alvarez. And now Yolanda has been in business for probably a little bit longer than I have, and she's doing a lot better than I am, right? Just putting it out there. She's got a bigger Facebook group. She's got more clients. She's a totally different coach. She's not a business coach. She's a parenting coach, which is awesome. But when she was interviewing me, or was an interview? No, I can't remember. I think it was an interview, but she was interviewing me, and my itty bitty shitty committee started to sneak in, because I started to go, wow, this lady's got her shit together. I wish I had my shit together as much as she does. Man, my goodness. Oh, I'm not as good as her. Look at her go. Look how many people she's got in her group. And then I heard that happen, and it's like, wait, Ali, step back. Instead of, feeling that imposter syndrome, why not be inspired by her success as well? So in our collaboration of, being interviewed, and I was doing a speaking gig, I allowed that inspiration to happen. And in essence, her audience got inspired by what I was saying. So collaboration is inspiration for both parties as well. Now, also when you collaborate, and this is a really, really big one, it builds credibility for both parties. So when you support each other, generally what happens is they'll reciprocate. So again, mutual support, right? And when you show support for one another, you receive support. And so word will get around. You're a supportive business owner. You love to support your fellow business owners. And so what does that do? It builds credibility. And so more people will reach out and offer you their support or their collaboration. You see? And then it spirals. And this in essence, and I don't say this to brag, I say this as truth. As I mentioned before, as someone who started business in it for herself, now that I'm, I do my best to live by that motto of be as inspirational as possible. Now I'm starting to, to be invited to do speaking gigs in summits and things like that. So essentially, and again, not to brag, but my credibility is being built because I'm showing that support to other people, and I'll continue to do that. And so words got around. And the same thing when people show me support, I am more than happy to reciprocate. So can you see? So collaboration is support. All right. So that's wonderful, Ali. Collaboration's great, but how do we collaborate? Well, let me tell you. Here's something I prepared earlier. So some ways to collaborate, and they're not that difficult, and the majority of them are no cost. So interview each other. Interviewing each other is a really simple and really fun way to collaborate. We do it each week here. We do it once a week here in this group, where we do member spotlight interviews, where one of you beautiful ladies within this group has an opportunity to come and be interviewed by me, and you have essentially half an hour to promote yourself and your business. That's me collaborating with you to support you in your business. And with interviews, this is something that I've learned. Sometimes, and actually often, if you don't ask, you don't get. So never be afraid to put yourself out there and ask, right? If you would like to be interviewed, for instance, if you would like to be interviewed in the Business Members Spotlight on a Thursday morning at 9:30 Adelaide time, let me know. Private message me. We'd be more than happy to book you in. But sometimes if you don't ask, you don't get. And I've actually done this a lot of times when, for instance, I have invited someone to be interviewed, and then so when I've been interviewing them, and then I've turned around, and it seemed a bit cheeky at first, a little bit uncomfortable, but then it got to the point it was like, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I've said, if you would like to interview me, if you have an opportunity, I'd love to be interviewed by you. And this has happened a lot of times, actually. There was one day I invited a lady to speak at one of my meetups, and I learnt this from her. So actually, no, she invited me to speak at her meetup, And I said yes, and we made a mutual time. And then this is what I learned from her. She came back and she said, look, I'm just putting it out there. If you would like me to come and speak at your meetup, I'd love to do so. Bam, I booked her in. Alternatively, it happened the same the other day. Like, I was interviewing someone in here in the Business Member Spotlight who has a podcast, which is awesome. And we were having such a good discussion about her podcast. And at the end of the interview, after the interview, I just put out and I said, if you ever want, if you'd like me to come and speak on your podcast, I'd love to. Guess what I'm doing in a couple of weeks' time? So if you don't ask, you don't get. So don't wait for people to come and find you, especially when you're starting out. Put yourself out there. And another side note, if you have not done many interviews, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Everybody starts somewhere. When I first interviewed with someone, and it was actually one of the really first times I did a proper interview was with my business coach. I was nervous as all hell. but I got through it. And every time I'm interviewed now, it gets better. So, what's practice, not perfect, practice makes better every time. So another way to collaborate is to co-host events. Now this can be quite big, so don't feel that you have to go straight into co-hosting events if that's not something that you're ready to do collaboration wise. But events can be like, you can co-host a podcast, you can co-host a meetup or a networking event or a charity event. There are lots of different opportunities and ways to co-host things, right? A summit, you can co-host summit. I see lots of people doing that. I've co-hosted networking events. I think it was last year I co-hosted a charity event, Healing Through Love, which was incredible. I've co-hosted interviews with people, not podcasts, but interviews. Good morning, Tricia. How are you, beautiful lady? So there's lots of ways that you can co-host events, but this can be on the larger scale. So if you're not ready to do that, not a problem. Do you know what? Go for an interview instead. Interview each other. Now, another way, which is a really fun way, I'm starting to really get my head around this as well, is to cross-promote each other's services or products. What this does when you cross-promote is essentially you are building each other, you're doubling each other's audience, right? See, for instance, Tricia, I'm going to use you as an example. So beautiful Tricia, if I was to cross-promote with Tricia, right, then her audience would become my audience and vice versa. My audience would become her audience. So essentially we've both grown our audience because we're cross-promoting, right? And so it raises your brand awareness, it builds your network, it strengthens your impact as a business owner and as a business itself, and it really increases your influence in the business world as well. So of course, you're building your followers, you're building your audience, which of course leads to more clients, so more income, all of that. So it all builds on one another. So cross promotion it's really a lot of fun. It is a fantastic idea, I know, right, Trish? So you can also, you can cross promote across different social media. So, again, using Tricia as an example. So, I would promote her products on my social media. She would promote my services on her social media, as long as they aligned with each other. We're going to get into that in a minute. So cross promoting is a lot of fun. Now, this is where it can get really fun, right? And again, I'm starting to really do this and really embrace this. So I have a couple of summits that I'm speaking at coming up. So I've got one called the Transform Conference and another one called the Small Business Owners Summit. And so one's in September. But the Transform Conference is actually happening in mid-June. So it's happening in a couple of weeks. So you will see me promoting this Transform Conference, even though I'm not running it. You'll see me promoting it everywhere. Now, why am I promoting someone else's conference? Well, I'm a speaker in it. So to help get more people there, and get more people's eyes on me as a speaker and the other speakers, of course, why wouldn't I promote it? It makes sense to promote it. And is it, you know, and also the fact that I really align with this beautiful lady, Nikki Zarnecki, I really align with her message. She's transforming people and helping them build a healthy mindset. So, you know, I'm cross-promoting her conference. She's promoting me within the conference as an expert guest speaker. And so, you know, why wouldn't I be happy to promote that? So can you see how cross-promotion works? It's so powerful. And does it cost me? It doesn't cost me anything to promote her event. I'm happy to do it. So cross-promotion is really, really powerful. Another powerful thing you can do to help collaborate is sponsor each other's events. Sponsor events is so much fun. So I just want to give you a really good example of this. Now, most of you would probably know that we have the Heart and Soul Virtual Expo coming up in 9 days' time. I'm very excited. And so we've got this expo coming up. Now, the idea for this expo actually came from someone else now. And it came from a lady called Susie Manley, who is now, so she is the original Virtual Expo lady, right? And I recently sponsored her expo, and she is mutually sponsoring my expo. So this is a typical example of collaboration over competition. We're both business coaches in our own right. She runs her expo's been going for about a year now. I actually took her idea, asked her permission if I could literally copy it. And so now I'm doing my own expo. We're mutually sponsoring each other. And so, you know, essentially we're both doubling our audiences. And it's a powerful thing to do. And, you know, and something that, you know, Susie said in her expo, if anyone goes to her, you know, if anyone, her 5-foot rope expo, it's called, if anyone is a stall holder and attends the 5-foot rope expo, they should be coming to my expo. It's a good idea, you know, go to Ali's. I say exactly the same thing to anybody who comes to the Heart and Soul Virtual Expo. If you come to this and you enjoy it, and you will, because it's going to be a great time, go to Susie's expo. We're sponsoring each other. We're putting it out. It is so powerful, Claire. And this is, you know, and I'm really starting to get my head around the powerful aspect of these collaborations. And like I said, sponsoring is not necessarily free. Often you have to pay for sponsorship. You know, we have paid. I've got sponsors of my expo who have paid to be sponsors, but generally it's not very expensive to put yourself out there. Another way to do it is offer freebies, offer giveaways in each other's groups. Okay, so I offer the opportunity again for people to give away freebies in this, or give away, freebies, yeah, in this group every week. I give you the opportunity to promote yourself. I give you the opportunity when you come and you're interviewed in the Business Member Spotlight to give away a freebie to people. Now, why would you want to give away freebies? Well, and I'm not going to go into all of this right now because there's a whole another, you know, lesson there, but give away freebies. This is the top of your funnel. Remember, the more you give away for free, the more people are going to get their eyes on you and the more they're going to get interested in you. So don't only do it in your own group, source out places where you can collaborate with other people and do it in their groups as well. Offer their freebies. Right, I'm just noticing the time. We've got to get moving. Wow, I can talk. So must when collaborating with people. So first of all, do your due diligence. If you're looking to collaborate, thank you, freebies promote you, exactly. When you're looking to collaborate with someone, if it's a specific partner, especially if you're entering into joint projects, you know, like co-hosting events or co-hosting a podcast or something like that, make sure that you align with each other's messages. Okay, because if you don't, it's going to be really difficult to work together right from the beginning. And I've had times where I've gone to collaborate with people, but I haven't necessarily done my due diligence. And while it's, you know, I tended to jump in with both feet because it was very exciting. We didn't quite align the way we should have. And that's perfectly okay. Like, it's nothing against the people that I went to collaborate with. It just, it was a matter of a mutual, I don't think this is where aligning so well. So do your due diligence beforehand. Also, discuss everything. If you're going to work together, it's important that you're able to work together well. And so both or all parties, everyone needs to be clear on the expectations of each other. So once again, you can see it's all about alignment and mutual, and I keep saying that word, mutual and equal balance. So make sure that you talk everything out. And be open and honest, be clear in your communication throughout the whole process. If it's an ongoing thing, keep coming back. And if something doesn't sit right, discuss it, communicate it. If something needs to be changed, work out an alternative plan of action, and if something works really well, celebrate it and say, right, that worked really well. We need to continue to do this. So keep the doors of communication open the whole way through in whichever way you're collaborating with someone. And divide the tasks. So, it is so important that when you're collaborating, especially on really large tasks, like events or like charity events or things like that, that the tasks are not only divided equally, but given to the right people with the right strengths. And a really good example of this is, not that I've watched this show, but I've seen enough of the ads and the bits of pieces on TV to kind of get the gist. But a good example is this show, Celebrity Bosses, right? I saw something on TV the other day and they were talking about this specific project they had to do, and they were looking for a project manager. And this certain guy put up his hand and said, look, I've got experience in project management. So they all went, oh, okay, great. Well, not all of them did. There was a bit of competition there. But, most of them went, okay, great. Well, I don't have experience in project management, so you manage the project. Great. But before they all said yes, they kind of discussed, well, what kind of experience do you have? So in saying that, when you divide up the tasks, give the right task to the right people and use their strengths. Now let's look at the word support. So we've looked at collaboration. So if you're not ready to do things like that, if you're not ready to do the big collaboration things, how can we support each other of business, right? You can still go out and do interviews, but there's some other ways. And I think we've all heard this in business before, but it doesn't hurt to hear it again. So we can react and respond. So react, when on social media, especially Facebook, don't just give things a like, give them a love. The algorithm likes, it doesn't, how do I want to say this? The algorithm, Facebook algorithm doesn't like likes, it likes loves. Or the other little reactions that you can have. Just don't put an angry face, right? Well, sometimes if you do, it gets people's interest. But react to their comments, react to their posts if you like them. Comment on each other's posts. So I just put it simply, react and respond. Share each other's valuable content. If you come across something that you think is really powerful, share it. Sometimes I see fellow coaches posts, and sometimes I go, damn it, why didn't I think of that? That's such a good post. But instead of taking the post and copying, why not share it instead and go, that's really cool. This is something that I've learned from this person. Share their content. Again, because their audience, your audience will come theirs, and you never know how they might reciprocate. Give someone a shout out. It doesn't take much effort to do this. I did this the other day. I think, I don't know, not last week, I think the week before, there was a Friday and I had 3 wonderful things happen all in the short space of time. And it was from 3 small business owners. So what I did was I decided, right, that's it. I want to give these 3 business owners a wonderful shout out. So I went live on my personal page and I did this, I don't know, it was about a 15-minute live, and I shared what their products were. I gave them a shout out in their great services and what they've done for me. So it was essentially like a video review that I did for them. So I was more than happy to give them a shout out. It didn't cost me anything but a bit of time, but I was really happy to do it. And I knew by doing that I was supporting their business. Provide a review. Even if you haven't necessarily used their products or services, you can still provide a review, right? Go on, if you understand and you know what this person does, go and give them a review on their Facebook page, on Google, send them an email or a message chat with a written review, putting that, you know, you're happy to have your photo and your name attached to it. I've done this plenty of times, and you know, it's not that it's not, people see it as false or fake, but it's not, because you're supporting this person in business. You know they do a good job. You know that they've got something worthy, that their product or service is amazing. So again, this is something that doesn't cost you anything, but it does help us support each other in business. Refer each other where relevant. Now, this is a really important one, and I love this one because, you know, sometimes ladies will come to me and we'll be talking, and, you know, it might not necessarily, we might not align with each other for some reason. It might not be that we're, you know, we're ready to work with each other, or whatever it is, or I'm not the type of business coach that they're looking for. So do you know what I'll do? I'll refer them to someone who most likely is someone that they're looking for. Or if someone comes to me and they're looking for a dating coach, I'll go, well, you know what, I'm actually not a dating coach, but I know some fantastic relationship coaches out there. You know what, I'll put you in touch with them and see how you go. Or, you know, and I've done this in this group, and we'll continue to do this, is, you know, what products do you have available on sale at the moment? And so when I look for products, you know, like I regularly look for candles, guess what? I'll come into this group and I'll look for people who sell candles. So refer people where relevant. It's a really good way to support each other. Again, it's free, it doesn't cost anything. So, as I always say, ladies, and I will continue to say this, support means that you don't have to do business alone. Support is available all over the place, everywhere, and including right here. Little old me, I'm here to support you in your business or your personal coaching if you would like. This is what I do for my business, and I absolutely, it's my heart and soul. So in saying that, if you would like to have some support from me, I would love to offer it to you. So if you would like to book in a chat with me, let's have a chat, you know, pop the word support in the comments and we'll be in touch with you to arrange a mutual time. Now, normally I would say to you that, you know, if you want to book in a business booster call, that we can, yes, we'll get clarity where in your business, we'll do a mini sales funnel audit, we'll give you some advice. If that's not necessarily what you want to do, that's okay. That's fine. Do you know what we can do instead? We can just do some laser focused coaching for you and your business in that call instead. So I want to support you in any way that I can in your business. So if you want to book in a call with me, put the word support in the chat, and I would absolutely love to be able to be that support, to help be that support for you in your business and in your life. So I hope you've really enjoyed this Business Growth Insights training today. I know how I have, you know, I love coming and doing these things. And it is good to be back. Even though, you know, yes, last week was our challenge. We had so much fun. It's almost like, how do I say it? Could be back to normal. All right, my beautiful ladies, have a fantastic Tuesday. Don't forget, pop the word support in the chat if you would like some laser-focused business coaching from me. I would absolutely love to give that to you. All right, my special ladies, I will see you again later in the week for our Member Spotlight interview. Bye-bye.